Hello and welcome to Kia HQ here in Walton-on-Thames. We've snuck in today while no one was watching to get an early sneak peek at the new Niro EV, a very exciting electric car considering just how good the old e-Niro was and how popular it was, the UK's second most popular electric car. I'm going to show you around it today, take you through some of my favourite features, and then I'm going to tell you about Kia's electric Experience Roadshow, because as you're watching this right now, the new Niro EV is touring around the UK, visiting every Kia dealership to give you the opportunity to do what I'm about to do, have a nosy round it. But me first, shall we? Well, here it is, the new Kia Niro EV. Different sort of thing from the old one, isn't it? I like the old e-Niro. We had them as crew cars at Fully Charged for a really long time. They served us well, but they were just lacking in the want department, lacking a bit of desirability. And that is one of the key things that Kia has looked to upgrade with this new car. And at first glance, I'd say it's a job quite well done. Now, we don't have very long today. This space is about to be taken over by a glitzy event because this is actually day one of Kia's electric experience. It's a sort of touring roadshow where this car, along with the EV6, will be travelling around the country to every Kia dealership, giving everyone who wants to an opportunity to visit it in the metal, have a look, see what they think. So, description down below, details for that, if you would like to have a look at this car at a Kia dealership near you. Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a nose round it. And speaking of noses, let's start with this. Look, this is sensible Kia thinking. Centre-mounted charge port on the front, where they should be. Where they should be. If you've got a car with a side-mounted charger and you've had the experience of parking and not being able to reach with the cable, you'll know why this makes me happy. Really like the front design of this car. It's quite an unusual looking thing. I think it has a really distinctive face. I like this daytime running light signature here. Big fan of that. Coming around the side, first thing I notice, aero wheel design. You only get one wheel option on the Niro EV and it's these ones, 17-inch. Sort of just makes sense. You don't need a gigantic rim on your family crossover. What you need is a nice big squashy tyre for comfort and an aero wheel design for maximum range. And this thing, like its predecessor, is a range monster. 282 miles from a 64 kilowatt hour battery. That's efficient as well. Coming on the side here, a couple of other things I'm noticing. I'm a really big fan of this different colour C-pillar. I just think it's an interesting design touch, and it's not just for aesthetics. What Kia is highlighting here is a rather clever feature. Air enters just here and exits just inside the rear brake light, increasing the car's efficiency and increasing your range. Once again, around the back, love these boomerang light designs, just really striking. And of course, being a Kia, it's got to have a big old boot. What have we got? We've got 475 litres. That's bigger than any equivalent sized electric crossover SUV. And just a nice flat floor, nice flat lip, so you don't have to lift it over stuff. Again, this is Kia rationality at play. Come on, let's have a look inside. Oh yes. Well. Welcome to a very refreshed Kia Niro EV interior. I'm getting big baby EV6 vibes from this cabin. EV6, that one, remember that one? Car of the year, incidentally, recently just won that. So take it as high praise when I tell you that this cabin reminds me of its big sister. Just really love this two-spoke steering wheel design that Kia's going with now, with the new logo, physical buttons on the wheel where you want them. Again, Kia is so good at just making sure that those little things that a lot of brands get a bit wrong that then annoy you on a day-to-day basis, Kia don't have any of those, and that's why these aren't annoying haptic touchy rub buttons. Really like the way they've integrated this curved touchscreen into the dash design, like the shape of the dash in general. Some interesting material choices, some funky lights. I don't mind cars that have the tall portrait screen, but this is probably safer because it's keeping your eye line nearer the road. And in fact, this has a heads-up display, so you don't even have to take your eyes off the road. if you don't want to. This is a very important detail, and this is the thing I mostly want to focus on in this video. The coolest cup holder of any car I've ever seen. You ready for this? Oosh. Oh yes, look at that. I'll tell you what makes me happy about this car, and it's the same for EV6. Amid this brand refresh, this redesign, Kia has remembered its roots, and its roots are sensible, functional design. Cabins that just make sense. Everything is where you think it's going to be. Nothing annoys you in any way, and that has survived with this car. That's why we've got nice big physical buttons on the wheel instead of annoying haptic touchy ones. We do have some touchy buttons down here, but it's really nicely done. This panel here can switch between showing my climate control or my radio. It just tidies things up a bit, less clutter where you don't want it. Wireless charger down there, exactly where you would expect it to be. And on the outside, a couple of other sensible, thoughtful touches, including a frunk, just the 20 litres, but big enough for your cables. Also worth noting, this car has a 750 kilo towing capacity. I never remember to mention towing capacity, and you always ask. I've actually done it this time. One final thing that I've noticed, these seats, oh, they're ever so squashy. This is a new seat design for this car. They look a bit like the ones in the EV6. I could really see myself sinking into one of these on a long road trip. Also, so much cabin space in here. Look at all this headroom for big tall Jack. This car, it's worth noting, doesn't sit on bespoke EV architecture like the EV6 does, because this car is also available as a hybrid and a PHEV. Now, that can potentially result in slightly less cabin space, but you'd never guess it sitting in here. Ample room for your head and your feet. Same story in the back. Lovely. Backseat Jack test, anyone? 6'5", very tall, seat in my driving position. And do keep in mind, this is a compact crossover SUV. This is not a huge car. And yet, have a look at this. Have a look at this. That is a properly spacious back row. Flat floor. I don't actually know how they've done that, because this car shares its platform with hybrid models, and usually that means big transmission tunnel. And yet, all the room in the world for your feet back here. Really, really roomy car. Proper 4 adult seater, and maybe a small one in the middle. One last thing I must mention, because I forgot to when I was sat in the front, vehicle to load comes as standard on the Niro, just like it does on the EV6. Still quite a rare feature on new electric cars, but a really, really useful one. Well, there you have it, friends. A very quick, speedy look at the new Niro EV. Exciting car. It's always exciting when Kia releases a new electric car, because they are leaders in electrification. They've got skin in the game at this point. EV6, Europe Car of the Year, justifiably. e-Niro, the old version, the second most popular electric car of all time in the UK. And what's exciting about this new Niro EV is it takes some of that EV6 spice and it adds it to an already very good recipe. And it's not just EVs, of course. If we include hybrids, Kia already has 10 different electrified models on sale right now, with another 14 joining in the next 4 years. This one, however, I think this is going to be one of my favourites. But don't take my word for it. Go to your local Kia dealership when this car is visiting as part of the Electric Experience Roadshow, and see it for yourself. See it in the metal. Form your own opinions. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not. So there we have it. Kia Niro EV. Really excited for my first drive in this thing. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have been, thank you for watching.